Welcome to USA Global TV and hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I am Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck and our show today is Talking Heads. If you're joining us for the first time, you're in for such a treat. Talking Heads is all about world-class presenters, people who have expertise, knowledge, and experience, and they come and give a presentation to help make us better personally and or professionally. Today, I am joined by my friend and colleague. He is the trifecta of everything here at USA Global TV, which means he is a co-host, a talking head, and an elevated listener. Let's welcome him to the program. Hi, Roland. Nice to see you.
Hello, Dr. Jacqueline. Great to see you again. Thank you.
I'm very excited for your presentation today. I'm going to bring up your deck, and then I'll wait backstage for you. Enjoy.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming back to episode 2. A short review in episode 1 2 weeks ago. I've been talking about setting smart goals to clarify where you want to go, how to focus your efforts. And now in episode 2, I will talk about how you can increase your leadership performance by smart planning and effective team communication is the overall topic. And today we focus on strategy and action planning. This is also very important because strategy speaks to the reasons why, while the plan is focused on how we're doing it. So on this episode, for the next 25 to 30 minutes, we focus on strategy and especially on action planning to bring your goals, your smart goals, alive, because setting smart goals is very important, but without action nothing is happening. So we're gonna deepen this topic with my own experience and what I teach organizations and leaders all over the world. So let's start. Actually, I will do the same like last time. We will talk about why is it important to have a strategic action planning, what are we doing, so how we are doing it, and then we look in the future. Okay, what if I adapt this to make it work for me? How should I do this? Okay, we focus on these 4 topics, what I call the format system. So why is it important? Well, actually, it's important to have a strategy and action planning. It's all about increasing your performance, whatever it is, increasing your business performance, your art performance, your sports performance, whatever it is. Yeah, you want to increase it to be successful. And as we said last time, success is nothing else than reaching your set goals, of course, by taking action. So why is an action plan necessary? An action plan, to understand, is a simple list. Action plans are just simple lists of all the tasks that you need to finish to meet an objective, the goal you set, the smart goal you set. So, but how do an action plan differ from the to-do lists? And first of all, a to-do list is just what you have to do, what you plan for tomorrow, for today, what you have to do. Like, I don't know, reading emails, answering a client, whatever it is, having a meeting, preparing a meeting. This is a to-do list. An action plan difference because an action plan focus on the achievement of a single smart goal. So action plans are very useful because they give us a framework, they give you a framework for thinking about how you will complete a project efficiently. Okay, so that's why it's so important to have a good action plan that differs from just a to-do list. And we will talk about what is an action plan and how we do it. So what are we doing? So why are we doing this? What will be done? When will we do it? We'll talk about this and will be done. So an action plan includes, of course, the reason, the motivation why we do it. Then it includes what has to be done. It also includes when. So we always have a time frame by when. So when we started the project, when we end it, and maybe it's a location definition. Where will it be done? Maybe when you're working with a team, by whom it will be done, and of course, how will it be done? So we also talk about the methodology we use in the action plan to reach your goals. Before we come to the how, I want to talk a little bit more about action planning. First of all, you have to understand what's the difference between an action plan and a strategic plan. I guess that's also very important because you need both. First of all, strategies are made as a blueprint. They're first of all a blueprint, and the action plan is the step-by-step process of how to go about that blueprint. Okay, so the strategy plan is more what you have in mind as a strategy for your life or a strategy for your business when we talk on a business perspective. So the strategy is the mental part of reaching a goal, and the action plan is the physical part of reaching a goal. So your action plan takes your strategic plan and makes it operational. It brings your strategy, so to say, to life. So that means the purpose of your action plan is to provide yourself, your staff with responsibilities, with tasks, with resources to make the strategy impactful. Okay, so this is an understanding about the blueprint and the action plan. So what does a good action plan look like? I mean, I personally have the experience, and this is what I teach in my trainings and coaching, is a good action plans will always outline all the necessary steps to achieve your goals, your SMART goals, and to help you reach your target efficiently. We want to save resources and time, of course, by assigning a time frame, meaning a start and end date, to every step in the process. So let's go through different steps. First of all, you know where you want to go. Okay, so the first step in creating an action plan is to consider the strategic planning, for example, of the company or of your life. Okay, so do you have a strategic plan? This is very important. I give you an example. I guess all of you maybe know Will Smith. Most of you, especially we in Europe, I'm talking from Europe now, I'm on the island of Spain. We all know Will Smith as an actor. Most people don't know this, also very successful singer and producer, song producer, and a DJ. And I remember years ago, I saw an interview of him. He has a very strategic plan about his career. He planned his career in 10, 15, 20 years in advance. He has a clear strategic plan. I said, okay, these are the steps, these are the steps, these are the steps. And when he got an offer for a job, he was looked at a strategic plan. Does it fit to my plan or not? So a strategic plan overall is very, very important. So first of all, when you're working in a company as a leader, leading a team, start listening how your team contributes to reaching your or this company goals. So therefore, both you and your team will know how your daily attitudes contribute to achieving your corporate goals. And this helps, first of all, engaging the teams, having a vision of its role in everything we are doing. Okay, so first of all, know where you want to go as a start. And I guess part of it we have been talking about 2 weeks ago in setting SMART goals. Secondly, create measurable goals. Okay, so once you have a clear vision of what you need to accomplish, the next step is to set measurable goals. Okay, if you want to learn more about it and you didn't see, go back to my first episode on YouTube and watch the first video. So the goal of the action plan needs to be clearly defined. After all, an action plan serves to achieve goals. Okay, the action plan is there to achieve goals. So first of all, define your goals. And if you missed the first episode, as mentioned, go back to the first episode. And secondly, think of goals that will allow your team to visualize what has been accomplished. Thus, they will have time to correct deviations and to achieve the objectives. Okay, so goal setting. Number 3, list the task to be performed and the skills needed. So you have the goals, you have certain goals, you set your SMART goal. Next, list the task that have to be performed and the skills needed. So it is very important that all activities that are necessary to reach the goals are listed and assigned to a person responsible for them. So along with the team, list all the tasks and activities to be accomplished. It's also very important. And ask each professional to put on paper what their main related activities are, and then discuss these with each of them in the team. And this way, everyone is clear about which activities should be developed and who is responsible for the implementation. Okay, so after goal setting, repeat it, be clear what tasks are needed and who can contribute what in your team. If you're alone, if you set goals for yourself, a life goal or an art goal, or you want to reach something in sports, of course, you have to be clear what tasks you need and you have to train and learn. Secondly, when the task is quite large, then split it, chunk it down in smaller chunks. So to divide the big tasks into smaller chunks into more, I say, more manageable parts, because some parts or some tasks or goals may seem hard to achieve than are. Seems hard, which is still too large. So that is why, and where it is possible, break larger tasks into smaller parts. They're easy to execute and also easier to manage. And this also allows your team members running them to manage them more easily and to have greater clarity about the activities they need to do in order to be able to execute them in a timely manner. Okay, so if the large is quite large, looks complicated, break it down to smaller chunks. It's easier for you. It's easier for team members. So for all managers, smaller tasks also represent greater ease in management. And it allows also the progress of the actions to be followed with greater, well, as I said already, clarity, since they're smaller, so they happen more quickly. You have more quicker success. This allows also the progress of the goal or the task to be followed. So break smart, really large tasks, chunk it down to smaller ones. It's easier to manage and it's easier to handle for you and for team members. Next point, decide very clearly on deadlines for everyday deliveries. It's also very important, especially when you work with team members together, when it's more complex projects, bring deadlines into it. So because without specific deadlines, you can not do an action plan. Absolutely not. And work will definitely expand and go over time. So set a clear time frame, because some tasks may never be completed afterwards. So activities that already have well-defined processes may well be guided by pre-established deadlines. And here it is also worth consulting each professional to determine execution times of this task. So be very clear, when you have complex projects, complex tasks, ask your professional team members how much time they need, especially when one task depends on the other task. Sometimes projects have a certain tasks involved, and sometimes you cannot start with a work before other task is finished. So be very clear about a time frame. Okay, because this allows you as a manager also to much better monitor the productivity of your team. And it will also facilitate the communication of all, since the team will already know when a certain activity will be completed to start the next task. Okay, very, very important to set deadlines for all everyday deliveries. Next point. Actually, what helps me very much, I'm a visual person too, what helps me very much in our teams is create a visual representation of your action plans. What does it mean? So once you create the action items and use a timeline template, the next step is to create some kind of, I call visual representation of your plan. And this representation helps in the engagement of your team, since everyone can follow the progress of the activities. And at the same time, a graphical visualization also allows an ease in identifying which tasks or objectives of the action plans are not being executed or not reached, allowing them to prioritize in order to be attained. Okay, so a visual representation can also help you very much in your action plan. And next step is, I would say last but not least, is track your actions as often as possible, to review processes, track them to allow you for feedback and review processes. Because once your plan is established and shared with the team and the accomplishments are scheduled, the next step is very simple. Make frequent follow-ups a habit. Very important. Please make frequent follow-ups happen. A habit. Make it a habit. So because it covers those responsible to ensure that all people are doing their part. So please always review, take feedback if everybody's engaged, involved, and following the timeline and doing it. So you can, for example, create a schedule for sending business reports or presenting individual or team results as review processes. And I think there's no way to create an action plan without defining how you will follow it up, because most people really forget to follow up plan. That's very, very important. So an action plan may occasionally, due to events or unforeseen circumstances, be altered or set aside. So do not let that happen. Not at all. So after all, what is the purpose of an action plan if not as a guide, so that the ability to meet deadlines, complete tasks, and achieve goals is resumed immediately after their unwanted interruption. So always review your action plan and engage your employees or your staff members to move forward without losing focus of the goal. Okay, so always review your action plan and engage your employees to move forward without losing focus of the goals. That's very important. So an action plan includes the what, the when, the where, the who, the how, and the why. So how to create now an action plan step by step. And maybe you can ask these 5 or 6 questions. And the idea is to answer each of these questions and thereby define them. First of all, what will be done? There are the objectives and goals of the action plans. Second question, when will it be done? So these are the dates and the schedule. Third question, where will it be done? In this case, it is a question of specifying the places where the action will take place, which may be a specific room or several ones of the company, for example, websites or tools on the internet or external locations. Okay, where will it be done? Fourth, how? What methodology will be used? What criteria will be used? Is there a tool that everyone should use? A good practice manual or ISO standard? What are the stages of the project? So about the methodology, the how. And last but not least, as I mentioned before, is the why. Why are we doing this? It is necessary to clearly define what benefit the project will bring to the company, how it will add value to the business and the customers. And so start about, next slide we'll see about setting what I call a smart action plan. And maybe you will remind from the last session, from SMART goals, we also talk about a smart action planning, how we do this. And it's almost the same like in the goals. So to make your action plan as successful as possible, check that each action is as smart as it can be. Maybe you remember what S stands for, as with the goals, also with the action plan, S stands for specific. Be as specific as possible. This means, is it really clear about what exactly you're going to do? Is it really clear for you, yourself, and your team? Is everyone aligned on the strategy and on the action plan? And does everybody know exactly what to do? This is very personal. Okay, the more specific you are, the more clearer you are, the more clearer you and your team members are, the more you feel secure, and then this really gives movement. Okay, so be as specific as possible. What I always see in companies is that managers who don't communicate clearly what the goals are, what the action plan is, what they're expecting from the team members will not perform as properly as they could be. So team members expecting you as a leader to be very clear and very specific, not only about the goals where you want to go with your team and your company, but also about how you're going to do it. Okay, so be as specific as possible. M, you may know it from the SMART goals. M stands for measurable. What does it mean, being measurable action plan? This means, are you going to be able to check if it's done or measure how far along you are? So make your measurable. So when you do your reviews processes, your reviews, as I said, always do follow-ups, follow-up, depending on the size of the project, on the complexity of the project, how many people, how many team members are involved, make it measurable. So check it, if it's done or not, or how far you are away by doing it. Okay, so make it measurable. A stands for achievable. What does it mean? This means, as simple as it is this easy to do for yourself, for your team members? Is this easy to do? So if it looks pretty challenging, as I mentioned it before, break it down into a smaller chunk, into easier individual steps. Okay, so when your action plan includes tasks that seems to be very hard, very, very challenging. As said before, make it easier, break it down to smaller chunks, to smaller tasks that people can accomplish much easier. Then we go to the next. From SMART, we go to the R. R for relevant. What does this mean, being relevant? Relevant means, does this relate to the goal at the top? Do you remember at the beginning, there was the SMART goal we set, and the action plan must be relevant so that it relates to the goal you set. So if not, you may gun off of an target. So keep the eye on the prize, meaning on the goal. Okay, is the action plan relevant to meet your goal? Okay, whatever it takes, whatever you plan, is it relevant to you come closer to your goal, to reach to your goal? This is very important, especially when team members bring ideas into it, especially when you have a discussion about the action plan with team members. Always make them clear. Think about it. Does it bring us closer to our goal? Is it relevant to reach our goal? If yes, we bring it in. If not, we let it. And the next time, it is time. T, it's time sensitive. What does this mean? So make sure you will fill in the when column, so that when has it be done? The best is, as I mentioned before, when you have larger or more complex project, be very clear what is the starting date, what is the ending date, especially when one task needs to be finished before another task can be started by the same team or different team members. So have a clear time-sensitive table. So fill in what's the time to start, what's the time, the deadline to be ended at the latest is also very, very important. Okay, so to repeat it, make like the goals when you set SMART goals, also make a SMART action and strategic plan. So being as specific as possible, be as specific as clear. It's much easier for the team members to follow. Make it measurable, so you know, okay, when it's done, or how far you away. Make it achievable, mean when you have a very challenging task on your list, on your action plan, break it down to smaller chunks, break it down to smaller tasks that are easier to accomplish. And always the feedback, is it relevant? What's on your action plan list? Is it relevant to reach your SMART goal? And last but not least, make it time sensitive, meaning have a clear deadline and also a clear starting date. That's as simple it is when you follow these paths. It's simple. So always take your time and really recap it. Is the action plan, isn't it really smart? It really helps you bring it forward. So the next point is the strategy with the action plan. What if I adapt this to make it work for me? And when you never worked with an action plan, I really, really highly recommend it to you. It's all about preparation. Like I said in episode 1 with SMART goals, from my own experience, without setting SMART goals, you never know where to go. You never know where you reach. And I always say, to no one, the wind is a good one if you don't know the harbor, the direction you want to go. So besides by setting SMART goals, also set a SMART action plan where you define really all steps, especially when you work with teams, when you're leading teams, that everyone is aligned not only to the goal, but also aligned to the action plan, to the strategic plan. Be clear. Everyone knows what to do, by when to do, who is responsible, where to do it. And yeah, and then follow just this concept, and you will see it's much easier for you and your team members to reach your goals. And as we all know, reaching goals is being successful. And if you want to be successful in your life, in your business life, in your private life, whatever you want to do, success means reaching goals, your own set goals. How do you reach your own set goals? By taking action, by taking a SMART action plan, being prepared, and then following the steps. And on this journey, I wish you a lot of success and also a lot of fun for yourself and your team member. It's always a journey, very young. And if you need any support, I'm more than happy to help you. just go on my website. It's my name, rolandfriedl.com, and we really can help us with almost 3 decades of experience in supporting not only in big international organizations worldwide, but also startup companies to bring your business and your business idea to life, to support you and also your team. Okay, look, this was for today, a short outlook for the next episode. And next Tuesday, I will talk about a success story, meaning what are the 5 important steps to consider for a successful team performance. Thank you so much for listening and watching this. I really love it that you take your time to observe this. And if you want to recommend this video, I would be very grateful. Thank you so much, and I wish you an amazing time and a successful day.
Well done, Roland. Thank you. I was busily taking notes over here. And I just wanted to thank you in the time we have left, because I have reached out to you about a couple of things that I wanted to do. And you said to me, does it fit in with your overall strategic plan? And I thought, wow, I never even considered that. I just was going down a path as I've done most of my life, which is just, yeah, I'll try this, I'll try that. And I thought, no, these things actually do not fit in with my strategic plan. So I really appreciate your guidance on that.
You're very welcome. Yeah, because we have so many opportunities to be distracted. You see these things to do, these things to do, and it's always about, okay, does it bring you closer to your goal, to your vision? Does it bring it closer? Yes or no? If yes, go for it. If no, depends. If you have time and energy and resources, okay, take it. If not, focus on the things that are really relevant to reach your goals.
Absolutely. And in this specific case, when I said no to these other things, something else came up that was new. So it's amazing how the whole energy system works.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, you did a fantastic job, and I really appreciate you going back to back from the other show to this show, and look forward to seeing you again next week. And again, please reach out to Roland. You have his website right there. And if you're listening on Business Talk Radio, it's his name, which is Roland Friedl. I'll spell it for you. ROLANDFRIEDL.com.
Thank you so much. And I thank you, and I wish you also a lot of fun with all the other shows with my colleague. Thank you so much, and amazing day.
Thank you, Roland. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate your support. And as Roland mentioned, share the video. Let other people know that we're here, because the content that we're bringing is educational, it's inspirational, and it's uplifting. And don't we need that in the world today? So help us support all the wonderful content creators who come to our platform, USA Global TV, and share their knowledge and expertise. Well, that's all for today. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. For those of you who are on our YouTube channel, I see you over there, please hit subscribe. That would be terrific. And also you can watch our shows there on YouTube, as well as our website, which is USA Global TV. Thank you again for being here. One plug for me personally is I'd love for you to join my listening community. I'm all about teaching people how to listen at an elevated level. When you're listening authentically and you're giving someone a safe space to share, you're helping to facilitate peace within yourself, peace within the other person. And wouldn't it be great if we could all have inner peace and take us one step closer to world peace? You can join my elevated listening community by going to my personal website, which is drjacqueline.com/join. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for your loyalty, and thank you for spreading the word. We'll see you again soon. God bless you all.